When it comes to your card program provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If somebody tells you that you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business and your customers expect more. So choose a partner that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Learn more at marqeta.com/11FS.
Does moving money across borders feel scary? This episode of FinTech Insider is brought to you by 3S Money, a fintech scale-up that makes global payments simple, predictable, and human. With 3S Money, your business gets multi-currency accounts and local IBANs, enabling you to send and receive payments in all major currencies, reaching the widest possible range of destinations. You'll also have a dedicated account manager, a real person, not a chatbot, guiding you through every step of the way. Enjoy the best FX rates, fully transparent fees, and premium service backed by regulation you can trust in the UK, Luxembourg, UAE, and Hong Kong. Go global with confidence. Open your account today at 3s.money and find out more.
Hello and welcome to FinTech Insider Insights, live from JP Morgan's roadshow here in Paris. My name is David Brear. I'm the Group CEO at 11FS, and today in partnership with JP Morgan, we're going to be exploring how payments are being reimagined, not just at the checkout, but across the entirety of the financial stack. Commerce is no longer something we do. It's something that just happens, often silently and often even without us really noticing. Welcome to the age of agentic commerce. From the frictionless frontiers of e-commerce to the precision and pressure of corporate treasury, we're mapping the modern payments journey, one shaped increasingly by automation, intelligence, and user intent. We're going to be unpacking what agentic e-commerce actually is, what it means in practice, and the evolving cart-to-code setups around many businesses all around the world. We're also going to be taking a little bit of a look about how regulatory shifts across the entirety of the EU are really rewriting the rules for builders and banks alike. We'll also look to explore the enduring complexity of cross-border payments and the innovators working to make movement and seamless as intended to be. We're going to be charting how the payments experience is no longer just about speed of cost, but context, control, and connection. That was a really long intro, wasn't it? We should probably get into it. Eh? I'm joined as always by a really great group of people, and as we're in the city of love and talking to you guys before, people who are very passionate about all of these things that we're going to be going about. So first up, we've got a FinTech Insider debut for Ludwig Uri, who is the Managing Director, Head of Merchant Services, EMEA, APAC, and global for large accounts at JP Morgan. Your cards must be like 6 feet tall. Like, do you have to fold them to get them in your pocket?
We don't do cards anymore.
Do you know? Fine, okay.
So it's
digital.
easy.
Yeah, it's very true.
Digital and green.
Very good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
After the intro you've made, I don't know what else can I add.
Yeah, well, we covered a lot of ground there quickly, didn't we? But for the audience, tell us a little bit more about your role at JP Morgan.
Sure. Well, as you said, I'm in charge of the merchant services business at JP Morgan, which means, in a way, to allow merchants to accept means of payments, in particular cards. We are specialized in cards, and I run this business in Europe and in APAC. And you had the full title, so I have to mention it. I'm also in charge of the relationship management of the large key accounts we've got in the world.
I feel like a man with many air miles, potentially.
Yes. Indeed.
As an ex-consultant, I can share your pain of extensive knowledge of taxi trips to hotels or airport lounges. So, yeah.
And what I can add is that I've been doing this job for JP Morgan for 3 years now. But I've been in this industry for close to 30 years.
Wow. I mean, even in the last 3 years, the change is quite phenomenal, isn't it? But
yeah, a lot has changed.
We'll touch on that as we get into it then. Okay, next up, we've got another FinTech Insider debut. We've got Lorraine Leconte. Is that right? Director of Global Payments, Risk and Fraud at Back Market. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you
We're
for
sitting in
having
your
us.
super duper office as well. Like,
Yes.
very, very cool space. I have to say, I'm very jealous. I hear there's lots of sort of secret rooms and different things. Like, it sounds.
Yeah, it's a speakeasy office, and there is a speakeasy nightclub downstairs.
Well, there's a promise. So I feel like we know what we're doing directly after this, then, right? But for anybody who doesn't know, tell us a little bit about the business. Tell us a little bit about your role.
So Back Market is a pure player marketplace that's specialized in refurbished devices. So it means that we are the intermediary between professional refurbishers and consumers. We are having a B2C, C2B, and B2B activity. However, the vast majority of our transactions are B2C. It was created in 2014, so a bit more than 10 years ago, in France by French people in Paris. And now we are in 17 countries. And I started to work for Back Market at the very early stage. And I grew up basically with the company. My team grew. I learned a lot about international expansion and new services, both for consumers and sellers. And it's tremendous time to be in payment at the moment because there is a shift of industry, especially for marketplaces around AI. So really happy to go through it today.
Well done. Great to grow up with the business. I've been running 11FS for 10 years and I've been resisting growing up as well. So it's, I figure if you can avoid that for as long as possible, it's good to do, isn't it? But so last and by no means least, we've got Lydie Convert. Yeah.
Good.
Head of cash management at BlaBlaCar. How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Tell us a little bit more about BlaBlaCar and your role.
Okay, BlaBlaCar is the leading carpooling platform, and now we operate also buses and train. And my role is I oversee our global liquidity and payment for all markets. It's about 22 countries now.
Wow.
And that's only 1 year and a half. But before I was in digital market also with Deezer, the streaming platform. And after, so I was in industrial and boring company.
Yeah, we've all had one of those, haven't we? Well done for not naming them. That was good. But that's awesome. Well, a great panel with great experience to sort of dive into all of these different things. I guess it's on the tip of everybody's tongue. Any conference you go to, I've just come from Web Summit. I think there was like 49,000 people talking about AI, basically. What do we think it is? What actually is it? Because it's such a broad church of subject matter that people seem to use it interchangeably for discussing a back office risk change to a front office customer experience improvement. So do you want to start us off with this one? What's AI? What's agentic? What does it do?
So AI specifically, the first thing is exactly what you say: cheaper, faster, more accurate to solve things that are not necessarily very interesting, like in operational stuff, in replacing things that are extremely manual, or improving the efficiency of fighting fraud, for example. But indeed, the evolution now in our world, the buzzword is around agentic commerce. I knew you would ask the question, and I've been thinking, what is the best way to kick off this conversation on agentic commerce? And I think we need to say first of all that we've got two giants that have got a very strong position in search, and they are thinking, how can I monetize commerce while people come through me to look for product? So that's one starting point. The other starting point is the merchants, the marketplaces. How will they be part of this? How will that work? And that's this ecosystem that needs to be built. And recently, what we have seen is our moves from both OpenAI and Google to try to start a standardization of agentic commerce in light of protocols, catalogs, payments. And basically, everybody now is assessing, analyzing, how do I play with this? And just to complete this first part, because I'm sure that my colleagues have other things to do, it is not today. It is not today the ability of an agent to go and buy for you 100% without you knowing.
Sure.
We are not yet there by far.
Yeah, it's a shame because that would be nice, right? If it could do my
do
my weekly shop, that would be awesome. But but like you say, we're sort of hurtling towards that reality. What do you think? I mean, how do you use AI on a day-to-day basis? Is it sort of landed on your home screen on your phone already, or is it far off from that?
I'm super in line with what Ludovic said. Basically, AI is a buzzword today, but we have been using AI for years now. It's just some kind of advanced machine learning, right? We have been using it for smart routing, for fraud management, etc. But the very big difference is LLMs, so basically ChatGPT and co. And we are using Gen AI today at Back Market for enhancing productivity. There are a lot of things like defending chargebacks, for instance, that can be done thanks to agents. But also it goes way further in terms of fraud management. One example is that we are using Gen AI to compare some after-sales messages from clients. And if we see the same message from an Italian guy in Roma and a French guy in Lille or whatever, and we just translate and we see that it's just exactly the same message. Basically, this is just one ring of fraudsters. And it's really a key differentiator compared to a few years ago. And now, as Ludovic said, we are definitely looking at agentic AI because it can disintermediate us if we don't surf the wave. So it's both an opportunity for Back Market to be pioneer of this new kind of transactions, and that as well we can miss some businesses if we are not there yet.
Yeah, it's interesting that point on changing commerce. You know, for a whole generation, you know, you run to Google, you type the thing in, you get search engine results, pages, you know, that's where you know, ads are served and you can engage with it, right? And, you know, the battle around search engine optimization and all of those things, it's kind of like a known, right? But in a world where people are using, you know, OpenAI as their interface to actually the ability to sort of find new customers, engage with them, it's a different battleground, isn't it? You know? But I guess, you know, digital in the first days was, how do we take people? How do we take paper? How do we take, you know, buildings out of the process? So it's sort of a similar battle, but shifting battleground to a certain degree, right?
But it's I'm really in agreement with what Lauren just said.
That's good, because you sat next to each other. It'd be real awkward if not.
But it's very important to understand that if marketplaces or merchants don't embrace the way it's going to be designed, the search engine or the agent will not go to them. Will not provide the consumer this opportunity. And this is really a potential shift of the commerce.
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, traditionally, product manufacturing, product distribution, you know, actually it's an intermediary for distribution or access to consumers, isn't it?
But by the way, we would like to help the ecosystem to play in a fair and agnostic way. We think it's very important. Not only we are going to provide solutions so the marketplaces and the merchants can participate in an agnostic way to retain the payment and the role of merchant of record or marketplace of record that they've got today, but also the way the catalog is positioned. Since we are going to be in the middle of commerce, I think we are going to be able to build a lot of experience and share it as much as we can.
But here you're talking about enhancing customer experience, and for sure there is some tremendous challenges here. But I also want to emphasize the fact that it will definitely change our fraud management. Because today we are using data to see how people navigate through our website, how long they are staying on one page, are they copy pasting some kind of data, etc. With agents, we don't know yet what will be the behaviors. We don't know yet what will be the API, the protocols, and also we must remember that fraudsters are going to use agents as well to
pretty innovative fraudsters, aren't they?
Yeah. So it will be kind of a machine against machine world in that sense, in terms of fraud management, and we really have to secure and think about the fraud aspects very much. So when you're talking about how JP Morgan can help merchants and the industry in that sense, fraud management is absolutely key here.
How about you? What is sort of agentic AI touching your day-to-day life at this stage? Is it something that you're personally engaging with, or from a professional perspective?
Yeah, about AI, we use in treasury because there is a lot of impact. We talk often about automation, but I prefer to speak about new decision layer, the capacity of AI to manage data, support us to make easier, faster all our manual tasks. And AI can just help us to make more proactive decisions. So that's the point. And for agentic commerce, not existing yet for BlaBlaCar, but it's a process, okay? And if we believe McKinsey, it will be half of B2C transaction in 2030. So it's key to be on it, but it's very important to not lose compliance, traceability, and all that stuff to control.
Don't trust management consultants. They always put out big numbers just to make people do stuff. But yeah, I take your point. But I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Like we're sort of circling around. Commerce has been around forever. Do you know what I mean? People have been exchanging like pebbles for stuff. Or cows, whatever. So there's a sort of a inherent trust that needs to be in all of these systems in order for them to be accepted. But like, how do we manifest that in this world when the way in which we're engaging with the people that we're trying to, procure things from are very different? Like, how do you sort of maintain trust in this world?
No, I think it's going to be, it's unknown today how the catalogs can be built in a way to be still in control of the action of selling.
Sure.
However, it will be known very soon, and very soon we will have to. They will have to have the technology in place. So when the searches of agents are going to start playing, they get action already and called upon as a possibility, as a potential product or service to be sold. We have seen already some protocols issued by Google and OpenAI. I think you will see some POCs in the coming months. Probably in Q1, I would not be surprised if there is a ramp up of pilots in Europe, in America, where companies will be able to assess the role they play and will be there to support them.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give one use case so that it makes things maybe easier. So basically, if David wants to buy a MacBook Pro, he will tell his agent, okay, I want to buy a MacBook Pro in the next 2 days at £600, and I want to have it delivered at my place in less than 1 day. And so you will have specific data that will be in the protocol. And basically, the agent can run through, or I think it's the right word is crawl. Will crawl a lot of websites, and it will, at a specific time when the price of one MacBook goes down to £600, then the transaction is initiated. So it can be initiated at any time of the day, during the night, etc. From my understanding, that's where we are going.
This will work if your catalog is addressing exactly to the protocol the agent is going to be searching.
Yeah.
And also the agent is going to look for catalogs where he knows that the payment protocol at the end will be matching.
Embedded, yeah.
If not, then he will not offer the solution.
Yeah. And that's really the point I was going to make, which is this sounds amazing. Like if I could, I do want a new laptop. Thank you. That would be great. But if something could go and do that for me and actually make sure that I was getting the best deal and exactly what I wanted 24 hours a day, that sounds amazing. You know what I mean? Like it's like a stone's throw from having like a robot in my house dealing with all my things as well, you know? But I guess there's AI is not a panacea. You know, it's not a fix all for all of these things because, you know, actually there's pretty strict regulation around data. There's the need for really great straight through processes across all of these capabilities that we want to expose. So, you know, not having those things in place and just slapping some AI on it isn't going to solve the problem, is it? So I guess, you know, data structuring, data regulation plays probably a big part to play to get that right first. Yeah.
Yeah, you mean ISO 20022, for example?
Yeah, but so many different regulations around data that govern how you can use it, how you can structure it, what you can engage with it. You know, so it's because actually at the point where you're acting like a personal shopper for somebody in that confines, then the customers had to give you permissions to retain and use that information as well, right?
Yeah, to keep the traceability of consent, the clear user traceability, identity, that's the key point with agentic commerce. So it's too technical for me to speak about the previous steps, but yes, we need to keep that for reconciliation. That's my scope.
Yeah.
And I hope so that, yes, all the structured data and unique reference ID to trust, to reliable, to make every transaction is easily traceable in the house system. It's a real change for our company, for Treasury's perspective. It makes some reconciliation become fully almost automatic, and I count about AI to learn patterns and to solve exception. So yeah, that's the reason why I think the switch with this kind of structured data is to move also my job about the past to move from end of the day cash visibility to intraday cash control, and to make more active on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. That to move from execution, orchestration. That's the big word for the coming months, coming years.
Well, that sort of batch end of day batch structuring to a 24/7, 365 real time view of that is amazing. But as I was saying about the straight through processing, structuring of those things, like these things will all be in place to be able to expose it to enable that world as well, right?
It's important to say that the monetization system is not known today. The other thing to notice, another angle, Visa and MasterCard, who are going to create the rules for the banks at issuing level to create the credentials and the way to tokenize the transaction for the agent, so that the agent at one point will be free. It does not exist yet.
Yeah.
So this is still in the making. So right now, we are driving into the zone where the catalog will be created. There will be a protocol of for the transactions, but the consumer still have the duty to decide, yes, I want to buy, no, I don't want to buy.
Yeah.
We are still in this position. So I don't know how long though, a certain period of time, there will be some kind of learning curve and control.
It's similar to cars, isn't it? We've seen, cars that can park themselves, and we were all really excited, and now they're driving themselves, and it's like slowly but slowly the technology advances and our trust in the systems improve, don't they? So, sorry, you're going to jump in.
Yeah, I just want to insist on your last point. So basically, today, there are several types of transactions. There are the customer-initiated transactions. So it's David buying a MacBook Pro. There are merchants.
You're really keen on me buying that laptop, aren't you? I feel like you're on some sort of commission for Apple now.
I know, like, great website.
Yeah.
And merchant-initiated transactions. So this is for any recurring type of business or tokenization, as you mentioned. And there will be a new type, which is agent-initiated transactions. And here we don't know yet what will be the authentication of the customer. And coming back to your questions regarding data compliance, etc. Today, the law is different for customer-initiated transaction and merchant-initiated transaction in terms of 3DS and all that stuff. So what will be the case for agentic-initiated transaction? We don't know yet. It's super blurry.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting, isn't it? You kind of think in the context of like payment initiation, all of the liabilities around who was liable in PSD2. You know what I mean? It's like we still haven't quite worked out all of that grey area.
Exactly.
So yeah, if suddenly your agent, which you might have many of, looking out into different technologies in order to buy on your behalf, then ultimately, is it at you or is it them, and where does the risk sit? It's I feel like we're not going to get to the end of that question in this podcast because it's quite a big one. But we covered a load of ground here, guys. Like from basically we're never going to talk to each other, and all of our agents are going to be talking to each other, to all of the sort of data risk structuring. Anything stands out other than isn't technology scary? Or any questions that you have or comments that you have?
Can go if you want.
Yeah, go on then. Jump in.
I think back to the point of physical shopping. It's not really a payments question, but rather that customers' behavioral questions. Do we really think that we're gonna be able to lose the joy of shopping, just like we lost the joy of driving in a way? I think it's key of the payment experience and the e-commerce experience into it.
Yeah. Do you mean as in like physically going into a place?
I think for now we keep paying and saying yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know.
I haven't been in a shop for such a long period of time, if I'm honest with you. Like I feel like I'm the prototype Amazon customer. Do you know what I mean? It's like the amount of recycling I'm doing of those brown boxes is just not good for the world. You know what I mean? But so I kind of feel like it's not that big a leap for me. But what do you guys think?
What I can see is that today there are some markets where we need to open a store or a showroom so that customers can see the device and touch them and compare them to new devices, refurbished versus new. I'm not sure that people will stop shopping at all in physical stores because there will be some resistance that will still want to try and test physical stuff. But yeah, interesting question though.
It depends of what is sold. If travel business, I think there is the same link, with personal and physical. It raises a question about how brand, how marketing campaign, what is BlaBlaCar will be in a few years if agentic commerce make all transaction. And we just chose by some an agent and robot, and we are just we become B2B.
Yeah. Well, I guess with the plan on the agentic side is that essentially your agents would look at brands that you have an affiliation to. Like I'm a sucker for Nike, so I'm like, I believe in Nike, I don't believe in Adidas. So like buy me Nike stuff, don't buy me Adidas stuff or whatever. So it's like actually brand affiliation becomes really important, doesn't it? So your point, the distinction between brand awareness marketing is going to be weird, isn't it? You'd have to do more physical sponsorship of like events where people are present rather than it being, just who's at the front of the store, right? So, but yeah, it's a super interesting point. What are you ready to give up shopping in physical places? Or I'll be honest with you, it's nearly Christmas and it terrifies me having to go do that. So
another point that I was thinking about, that we've went from physical to digital after COVID. I think agent commerce would probably trigger the way back in a bit. We need to physically have an emotional experience with the brands, because we don't know the parts.
Yeah. Well, and also that's a really good point. The sort of the physicality of those things is like the research me knowing I want that particular laptop. The research process is a very different stage of the buying process than the physical purchasing one. So I'm a obsessor, like holidays. I'm an obsessor. I like to research everything about a thing before I make that leap. Same with a laptop. Like I'm crazy into the detail of like the GPU or whatever in terms of picking it. But then the actual purchase bit, it makes you wonder what the payoff is. Because actually the physical trade-off of pressing that button and getting that dopamine kick of I bought the thing. Will you still get the same association with it or not?
That's why you were talking about Nike. That's why a lifestyle brand will be really important. And at Back Market, we invest a lot of efforts in manifesto and everything about climate tech and climate talks, conferences, etc. We don't want people just to buy a MacBook. We want people to buy a MacBook from Back Market because it's refurbished.
Sure.
And
be proud of it.
Yeah. And that's the brand affiliation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it goes back to that point on distribution again, doesn't it? At the point where, millions and millions of users are using it as the way to engage, then, eventually the market, the demand takes over, doesn't it? But, all right. Well, good question though. Thank you very much for that.
And so back to his question regarding physical stores, that's why also we didn't just open a showroom. We are also hosting events and conferences in the showroom. So it's not just a physical store where you experience a purchase. It's also a place where people gather and speak about a specific topic.
Cool. All right. That is going to wrap up the first half of the show because we better get through to the 1,000 other things that we want to talk about in the second half of the show. So we will wrap it up there.
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With the all-new Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from good to excellent. Introducing the new Sleep Score on Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
Welcome back to FinTech Insider Insights. In the first half of the show, we discussed where we currently stand when it comes to agentic e-commerce. Next up, what we're going to be doing is talking a little bit about what the road ahead looks like, taking a little bit of a closer look at cross-border compliance and various different things in that, guys, as well. I mean, Lily, we talked in that cross-border structure. I mean, it feels like actually this is going to get even harder when you start talking about across borders, because like we've seen with many innovations, they happen small in a region, but traveling around this week, everybody's got different plugs, like the context of that for the payments world is going to be quite complex. So how are we going to manage that when it comes to cross-border corridors?
Yeah, when we talk about cross-border, I think the purpose is not to choose one technology, but more orchestrate them together.
Sure.
And for me, and maybe I'm the tough girl, but to know the.
You seem so nice.
I am, but to know their limit of that.
Sure.
So happy corridors bring ethics, transparency, and speed. But we have to. There is some constraint as a capital control, and it depends. The reality depends of the country. And for BlaBlaCar, in emergent country as Brazil, Mexico, India, cross-border international transfer means that your payment have to match with an invoice or an agreement. So it's not easy like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can talk about liquidity or virtual account. And again, tax control makes that we have to provide proper transfer pricing. For Brazil, it's my battle every day.
So who'd have thought world domination is difficult? Yeah.
yeah. But in fact, this kind of technology it's great for capital efficiency, but it depends on country. And last one, I think it's tokenization. It's a future that finally will be instant. But for treasury perspective, I'm so bad, but tokens are not cash yet.
Yeah.
And so I need to have a more accounting rules, harmonization across all the country to embrace all this technology.
Yeah. Well, and like you say, actually, to sort of get to the beautiful future we described in the beginning, actually, the operating system around all of these things fundamentally shifts, doesn't it? Like we talked about in the first half, data, but actually with all of the components of how you run the back end of the business fundamentally is changing, isn't it?
To be real instant, that's the future. And I hope with the European, regulatory, we can see there is a trend. And I hope that all countries will follow. And the purpose is to be in real time. That means a lot of change for Treasury to be able to have the right TMS, Treasury management system. I need to
Thank you. There were people listening to this going, quickly Googling that. But yeah, thanks for that.
To test each bank, each technology, just to be sure that we can be more proactive for all our decisions and to centralize cash and to avoid any pre-funding everywhere. We have cash today everywhere. So the purpose is to be more efficient.
Sure. So sort of opening that up to you guys. I mean, the operating system for this world we're talking about seems quite dramatically different from,
cross-border?
Yeah, well, I mean, more broadly as well. I mean, cross-border definitely, but actually, within borders, because actually at that point, I'm joking about everybody's got different plugs, but like within every border is a different system and a different set of regulations that prescribe a different way.
It's funny because the infrastructure is made for the consumer, so it's fully working for consumers. You can be English and transact in Brazil or in Australia, no problem. Your card will be accepted. It works super well. You can even stay at home in London and buy to Australian merchant. It's going to work fine. Now, when you are on the other side of the fence, if you are the merchant, if you are the acquirer, if you are the issuer, it's more expensive. It's less secure. So there is a conflicting event of things that makes on one side there is a push for cross-border, and on the other side I want to stop it and I want to go local.
Sure.
And that's why you see the big companies, the big players trying to have local contracts. A French company having a domiciliation and an acquirer in America when they sell to Americans, same in Australia, to avoid this crazy cost and the crazy fraud that it generates, which is counterintuitive.
Yeah, and you say everything works on the front end for the consumers, but often, the internet's the internet and you can access whatever, wherever. And do you think consumers, I mean, I bought something for my wife a couple of weeks ago and I was like, that's getting shipped from Korea. Like, I'm like, this is crazy, you know, like surely there's a manufacturer somewhere in Europe that would have distributed that thing, but I had no idea buying that thing where it was actually shipping from. So, you know, do you think people get that? I mean, start with that question. I've got several others on the back of that, but
we actually saw a better conversion in some markets if the seller was based in their home country, especially in the UK, actually. Basically all our sellers are trying to go local. So the foreign exchange are not a big challenge today on the platform. It's different topic for our treasury team, but on the platform we are doing like for like transactions, so meaning that a UK customer will pay from a.
And since the Brexit, the cost between UK and Europe have gone up.
Yeah,
with the Brexit. Right?
Then there is the.
I was hoping we were going to get through this without talking about Brexit. I'm still sad about that, but like, go on then, keep going.
Yeah, and the authentication process change as well. The rules that apply in Europe to secure the transactions don't necessarily apply between the UK. It's very near. It's still Europe.
Yeah.
So everything is pushing the commerce to become local.
Yeah, but I guess in order to make those things happen and to create, you know, localization of specialisms, but then internationalization, I'd say, of networks to do these things. It kind of means for organizations like yourself, you've got to participate very heavily locally, but also participate from a global network perspective as well. Like, how do you manage those two demands?
Well, it's very hard. So we've got on one side to be prepared to follow the demand on the cross-border side, anywhere, currencies, interchange, management, all the fees, billing, settlement. And on the other side, we've got a huge demand from clients to go local. But going local is very difficult.
Yeah.
You can go, so we are local in America, in Canada, in Europe. Europe is considered as one country. We are lucky for that. Now, UK is one country, but Africa is many countries.
Yeah.
Asia is many countries. You see, so it's very difficult to set up a localized solution for all those Asian countries. So if the marketplace or the merchant wants to go local in Thailand and we don't have Thailand, then they need to pick a local provider or another provider. So it's complex.
You said that Europe is one country, but it's mostly because it's of the currency. But basically,
one regulation.
And one regulation. But if we go back to the fragmentation of payment means, for instance,
yes, you're right.
super fragmented on the other side. Even though there are some transversal initiatives like the Euro Digital or instant payments.
Well, and different from an infrastructure perspective, common from a regulatory perspective, but consumer behavior is so dramatically different as well.
Yes.
You know, you guys must see very different behaviors from different geographies that you operate in as well.
Yeah, definitely. There are, for instance, in the Netherlands, they are paying with iDeal, like 95% of our transactions are going through iDeal. In France, it's mainly cards, carte bancaire. Germany, it will be more PayPal and Klarna. Yeah, super different from one country to another. And sometimes it's not just about the payment means. For instance, in Germany, when we added the TNCs of Back Market on the checkout page, we saw an increase of conversion. And they were actually clicking on the TNCs link. Yeah, it was a reassuring element. Yeah,
it's amazing. Different places have very different behaviors in that structure, don't they? I was in Lisbon yesterday, and there's still a lot of cash businesses. Didn't realize when we went into the coffee shop that it was a cash business. Had to leave my colleague as like a down payment on the coffee and the patisserie that we'd picked up, so I could go and find an ATM to be able to pay for it. But it's so yeah, different geographies have very different structures. What else makes up that operating system then? You know, we've touched a little bit on the regulatory side of things. We've got cross-border networking to allow us to do those things much more effectively. What else is in that blueprint that we want to achieve that future that we were talking about earlier on?
Well, it's it's a wide topic. I can say it's becoming more and more a world of fintechs.
Yeah.
So this is the title of your podcast, Fintech Insider. But it's true. It's a business that is, contrary to what people think, that is very low margin from a provider point of view. But high demand of new functionalities, new stuff, innovation, as we saw, heavy regulation, and that creates a lot of constraints for banks in particular to remain very competitive in this space, because many of them have the choice of investments between more cash generating products than this one.
Yeah.
That's why we are not so many banks in this business anymore. 20 years ago, it was 100% a bank business. Today, I would say it's banks are minority players in that space. So it's also a major evolution. But I would say that, and that's something that we have seen lately, it's also good to be a bank in this space because treasury and commerce works well together.
Yeah. Number
one. Number two, there is a security element. We have seen, unfortunately, I say unfortunately because it's damaging the whole industry, companies falling down, companies in jeopardy today. We see stock prices in payment companies falling to the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's not good for the industry. It's not good for all of us. But it means that a bank that has stayed strong in this industry, despite all this, is an important asset for the industry. So what I would say is that it's not only about price. It's also about the security. It's also about the quality of service.
Yeah.
And we need to be mindful about this as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting point that on the the balancing act of commoditization of capabilities, but also the need for them to always be pushing the boundaries. And to your point earlier on around the fraudsters are always pretty quick to find gaps in those things, which means we need that balance between how do we create commodity and shape the price of structuring to move money. I'm talking about trillions of dollars around the world, right? But equally that it's being innovative, it's being safe, it's being secure. That's quite a hard balancing act, isn't it?
Exactly.
And adapting quickly as well.
If I may, regarding bank and versus fintech, I think it was fintech area for years, but now with a new regulation, more constraint for to have a more equality between fintech, I think banks become
bank.
Yeah, we are. And for treasury perspective, it's really a good shift because bank is not just a service provider. I need them. I need to expertise locally. I need the experience to have the benchmark for other country. And other company. So for me, I prefer to play with banks as merchant. But sometimes it's some debate internally with the payment service, but that's the point because I need to have agility as JP Morgan, but I need resilience.
Sure.
That's very important for me, and I'm glad to see how it will change in the future.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting point because then it's not just about just the individual products. It's about the holistic nature of the service then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a global relationship. It's very important.
I think we've covered like a million different things that we probably could have done like an hour on each of those topics, but we've sort of gone through, agentic, commerce, regulatory side of things, structuring, operating system around it. I mean, what's the one bit? We're going to have to wrap up real soon because you guys are probably going to go home, right? But what's the thing that you're most excited about? Let's start with you at the end. What gets you out of bed going, do you know what? This is fun. I love working in this industry. Like, it's fun to do this thing.
For me, it's agentic commerce. Obviously, we have been talking about it a lot, and how is fraud management is going to adapt, even more than the payment experience, because I'm sure that payment experience will be super smooth, etc. The question is more where will we put frictions because of fraud management in this experience? That is a big bet and a big focus for me at the moment.
Sounds good.
No, I think it's linked to what I was saying previously. It sounds like a dinosaur saying this, but I think it's very important to understand that we talk a lot about innovations, AI, but in reality, things are not moving that fast.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you've got a consumer that is deciding, and whether we like it or not, consumers are extremely conservative about the way they spend money. So what really excites me about this business, it's to maintain a kind of reality to all those dreams of evolution, innovation, and to convince more and more companies that it's good to be a bank in that place.
Sounds good. Sounds good. How about you? What are you sort of, do you know what, when we get to this point, it's going to like change how I do my job? Or
from my point of view, we can see a real shift about the role of treasury. For years, it was seen as back office and borrowing, and now, but it was always strategic role. But now it's obvious with technology, everything moves fast. So we have to integrate all this technology and to prove our agility, to prove that we are the great department to bring decision support, to avoid risk, to take opportunity, and that I'm glad to build my part in this future.
Very good. I'm often sort of say it's like we're so lucky to work in the industry now. You know what I mean? Like innovation a couple of 100 years ago was like very boring things, you know, like so to do what we do today, it's it's a blessing to work in the industry for sure.
It's tremendous time to be in payment, yeah.
Indeed. All right, on that note, we are going to have to wrap up though, because we're going super duper long, but we will definitely have to come back to Paris and do this again. So on that note, it does wrap up the show. To end, where can people learn a little bit more about you and your company?
You can reach me and check my profile on LinkedIn. I'm Lydie Convert. I prefer to repeat.
All of the spellings in the show notes, everybody. You got this, right?
So I will be glad to continue this conversation.
Very good. How about yourself?
Yeah, LinkedIn works fine as well.
Good stuff. How about
LinkedIn.
you? Very good. And for everybody listening, I'm predominantly lurking on LinkedIn these days, so you can find me out there. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you've liked what you've heard, follow our podcast. Don't forget to leave us a review. Super duper helps other people find the show and helps us make it better as well. As always, if you want to join the conversation, you can find us on pretty much every social media channel. Just search for 11FS or FinTech Insider. Or if you really want to, you can send us an email on podcasts@11fs.com. That was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.